we in tour with them, and you might see this, or you might see me, you might tell them niggas, oh, such and such right here, such and such right here. You go help them out.
That's how I tell. That's how I go with the females too. With their ass too, they set niggas up too. Looking like, you feel me? Guilty by association.
Beep TV, of course, it's to be expected.
Beep TV, One Urban Vision Entertainment.
You're in Terror Town.
Beep TV 1, appreciate you all tuning back in. This is a reaction video of Shoota Shellz. Reason why I wanted to do this because his story is way more intriguing than the others, because he actually grew up young with no parents, not no mother or daddy. So, and he was an orphan. That's what makes it very sad, and how he was killed. That makes it very sad. And I don't always blame them. I mean, they do have some blame, but that environment, bruh. You got your son growing up in these tough, gang-infested environments. I had to grow up in it too. I got shot. I survived. By the grace of God, I survived. So it's a long story with just that area alone, bro. So let's take a look.
What's going on, nigga? Fuck gang. Everybody gang, nigga. Fuck everybody gang. NLMB. Y'all know what the fuck going on. Stop playing with us.
This is the short version for the story of Shoota Shellz from Black Mob. Shoota Shellz, whose real name was Cedron Doles, grew up on Black Mob territory, which is located on 74th to 75th in Phillips. Cedron went to elementary school on the 75th and South Shore. The years around 2004 to 2007 were very tough years for Shoota Shellz. When Cedron was only 9 years old, his father was murdered in Chicago. 2 years later, when he was 11, he lost his mother due to natural causes. This is a very sad story. Only at the age of 11, Shoota Shellz became an orphan. Because of this, he entered the criminal life fairly quickly. His older brother, King Scoobs, was already in that life. Already as a young kid in 6th grade, there were fights between different schools in the area, which was one of the reasons Black Mob and No Limit started beefing. However, they were not shooting at each other just yet. Older members of Black Mob and No Limit were still cordial and kept peace between the sets despite the younger members fighting each other.
Now listen, 97 is when Motown was killing each other. All over somebody going to jail. So same thing in Terrortown. Antonio Fort got killed. So that switched up a lot. That changed a lot. And these y'all claim y'all gonna die for each other, and you're not. You're lying. All that shit is a lie, bro. You come across your chest, I'm gonna die for you, that's a lie. They lying. So all that gang shit ain't even worth it, bro. You wasting your life. You are a casualty at war. That's what they gonna label you as when you gone. When you land on that ground, you're by yourself. I'm telling you. Trust what I'm saying. I'm not saying this off of YouTube research. I'm saying it off of experience.
However, that would change in 2009. Veto from No Limit was out selling drugs in Black Mob's territory. He did this without paying taxes and also showed no further respect towards Black Mob. Veto was violated by Black Mob because of this and was chased away from their territory. Hellrel, who is currently running NLMB, told Veto he had to get revenge and shoot someone from Black Mob, which he did. The person he ended up shooting at was with his children. This was totally out of line with the street rules, and it was from there the expression NLNL originated, which stands for No Limit, No Law. This incident was the start of a long-running war between the two gangs, because just a few days after that incident, the first body would be dropped between Black Mob and No Limit. Black Mob wanted revenge because of what Veto did, and it all ended with Veto getting killed by Boo from Black Mob. Boo is currently serving 60 years for the murder and will be released in 2071.
70 years. That's crazy, man. But this is what y'all signed up for, right? To do 70 years or death.
2013, the war between Black Mob and No Limit escalated. It was one of the bloodiest summers in history, and it was basically a war between Black Mob's top killer, Shoota Shellz, and No Limit's top killer, Mad Max.
So I have to stop the video from time to time so I won't get copyrighted, but y'all be thinking, because y'all got all these hats, that you actually just gonna live a happily ever after life. That ain't what it is, because if you still living in Chicago, you're gonna get killed.
Simo from No Limit was one of many members who slid almost every day on Black Mob that summer. What he used to do was to go lurking on Black Mob territory, and if he spotted any member, it was on sight. In order not to be taken by the police or not to be shot himself, he used to hide in stores or barbershops. It worked for the most part, but in the end he was caught after trying to hide in a store, not by the police, but by Black Mob and Shoota Shellz in particular. On June 26, 2013, after sliding on Black Mob, Simo tried to hide in a store but was thrown out by the store owner. SGH, Shotty Hit, and Shoota Shellz were out at the time and spotted him near the store. Shoota Shellz ran up to him and shot him 16 times in the head and chest before fleeing the scene. This is why G Herbo rapped, "Let off 16, that's for Simo."
They say when Shoota caught them, boy, he was hitting them multiple times in the head. Now I understand why they did him the way they did him, man. It's unfortunate, bro. This is a learning lesson, y'all. You got to understand energy.
Just 3 days later, No Limit and Mad Max in particular retaliated by killing Jordan from Black Mob, who was shot 3 times in the head outside a church. Isaac, pastor at the church, said Jordan came to him that week and said he would come to church on Sunday. Sunday morning, Jordan helped Isaac carry supplies into the office. He attended the service, but expressed uncertainty about joining the church. After the service, Jordan and Isaac's son walked to a corner store. Suddenly, shots started to ring off, and Jordan was killed. According to the pastor, a bullet was close to hitting his son. Fortunately, it did not. A little less than a week later, it was time again. Now it was Black Mob's turn to score again. Shoota Shellz would yet again strike and get revenge for the murder of Hakeem from Black Mob by killing his alleged killer, Pistol P from NLMB.
My nigga Pistol P got shot right here from the beauty supply. Yeah. He ran right there and fell.
What y'all don't realize, calling the police ain't doing nothing. It ain't gonna do nothing. They're not gonna do anything. It's just a game that you gotta play. You gotta play the game. Doing things and trying not to get caught. That's how you grow up. That's what you're taught.
It is rumored that Shoota Shellz, together with Shotty Hit and AWOL, were out sliding, looking to get back after the death of Jordan. They spotted Pistol P in the 2400 block of East 79th Street. They pulled over, AWOL and Shoota Shellz jumped out of the vehicle and shot Pistol P in the back, who managed to run around the corner into the 7900 block of South Phillips Avenue, where tragically collapsed due to his wounds. Only 25 days later, it was time again. Shoota Shellz would catch his 3rd body for the summer. This day, Shellz was again out lurking with his right-hand man, Shotty Hit. They spotted Richie Rich from NLMB. Shoota Shellz emerged from an alley and ran up to Richie and shot him repeatedly in the head and neck before fleeing the scene. Shoota Shellz together with Shotty Hit was a deadly duo. They really terrorized No Limit that summer. Shoota Shellz did not stop after Richie Rich. Only a week later, he would catch his 4th body in 2 months.
4 bodies in 2 months? That's crazy. And see, Chicago is a city where if it's labeled gang violence or gang murder, they don't investigate it. They look at it like 2 gang members killed each other. Now let's move on to the next. See what I'm saying?
This where we was saying bro got killed.
So who you say died right here?
Bro, we was right here shooting dice for my nigga Kobe died and shit. So like 4 in the morning. You know her do that shit in the rap and that sacrifice shit. We was out here, I'm right here, on point with the lick. Both them right there shooting dice. No, they like right here.
Bro walked off. Went to the crib, folks. We steady hearing shots and shit. We ain't even know this, bro. Getting shot at none of that. Folks, it's 4 in the morning. You hear me, folks? It's 4 in the morning. I'm steady hearing them bitches. We like, damn, somebody blew down. We steady hearing them bitches. Then I just jump up like, fuck, that's Kobe, boy. All the guys get scrambling, running to the car. We run up, get in the car. We'll fuck around, have to go down there though, folks. All the way to McDonald's. They killed bro in front of McDonald's though. We had built in the cars. Went to McDonald's. Seen bro up there stressed out and shit. That's where we was at though, folks. 4 a.m. shit.
Kobe from NLMB. Many have previously thought that it was KTS Vaughn who was behind this murder. Well, it seems to be false, since both Shellz and AWOL from Black Mob were arrested for this murder, but were later released. Kobe had just been with Herbo, Cairo, and other No Limit members shooting dice. When Kobe was going home, he was asked if he wanted a ride home, but he didn't. He managed himself, he said. When he walked near McDonald's, a car pulled up. Shoota Shellz shot him, which caused Kobe to fall to the ground. Shellz then got out of the car and shot him multiple times in the head. Kobe Squad was created in his honor. Kobe's murder would not go unnoticed. Just 3 days later, Mad Max and ABK Yogi slid through Black Mob in a light-colored SUV and spotted 34-year-old Eric. Max and Yogi started letting shots from the car, and Eric was struck multiple times. Eric was later pronounced dead at the hospital. The murder of Eric ended the historical summer between Black Mob, and it actually calmed down for a while, much due to the fact that Shoota Shellz got locked up. Shoota Shellz was a high priority for the police in 2013. He was arrested for the murder of both Simo and Kobe, but was released due to lack of evidence. The police wanted him off the street. Since they could not find any sufficient evidence for the murders, they decided to raid his girlfriend's apartment where he resided. But in order to do this, they had to get a permit for the girl, which they got. This allowed them to find weapons and drugs that they could connect to Shoota Shellz. This resulted in Shoota Shellz getting booked and was not released until either the end of 2015 or the beginning of 2016. While Shellz was in jail, NLMB shifted their focus to MTG.
When I used to drive down 79th and turn on Exchange, to the right, that little submarine, a little restaurant to the man, was always yellow tape right there, bro. It was always a shooting. I'm like, damn, again? All the time.
He tragically lost his older brother, King Scoobs. However, it was not No Limit who killed him, as many believed from the beginning. The member who killed him was from ABK, a set that was once upon a time cordial with Black Mob. This changed in late May 2014, when Yogi drew the first blood by running up to Scoobs with no second thoughts, shooting him multiple times before fleeing the scene. Scooby Soldiers was created in his honor. The murder of Scoobs took a heavy toll on his brother Shoota Shellz. He had now lost his mother, father, and brother, basically his entire family. There are no words that can describe what anger and sadness Shoota Shellz went through in jail. Once Shoota Shellz was released, he was constantly out looking for Yogi.
People be like, how they be catching them? It's not hard. You know, it's way easier now than my time of growing up because y'all got y'all faces. Your face is out. 9 times out of 10, you was in a video. You showed the block you from. It's that simple. It's that easy. I can follow you on social media. That's it. That's how simple it is. Faces.
He really wanted to get rid of him because of what he did to his brother. Eventually, after a long period of hunting, Shoota Shellz would get his revenge. On June 27, 2016, Shoota Shellz caught his 5th body. Yogi, 20, was outside with another man, 18, in the 7400 block of South Shore Drive. Shoota Shellz, who was out in traffic, spotted them and jumped out of a vehicle, ran up to Yogi and the other man, and reportedly started shooting both. The 18-year-old man managed to escape after being shot in the armpit. Yogi, however, fell to the ground. Shoota Shellz then stood over him and shot him repeatedly in the face before running back to the car. Just a year later, Shoota Shellz would strike again. He would catch his 6th and final body, and his 5th on No Limit alone. I'm talking about the murder of Lil Wet's father, Big Wet from NLMB.
Well, the guy's dad and shit. I forgot to throw my nigga Wet in there. You knew that. You know I had to come back for that.
Man, bro got me filming 3 days in a row.
What came out the building down there on the walk up. So spent the corners going on, cuz. You feel me? Cuz sink that jam, try to get out that jam.
Yeah.
Big Wet was walking on the sidewalk in the 7900 block of South Phillips. Suddenly, a dark vehicle drove up next to him. 4 men jumped out of the car and shot Wet in the right side of the stomach. Wet managed to avoid getting stood over and managed to take himself to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead 1 day later. The 4 men who jumped out of the car are rumored to be Shoota Shellz, Trap Mo, SGH, and Shaky from Black Mob. Big Wet, 37, was a documented gang member of No Limit. According to police, Big Wet has twice been arrested on murder charges back in the days. Big Wet also had nearly 4 dozen arrests during his lifetime, according to the police. As many of you already know, it was this murder that led to the quadruple murder of 4 Sino City members just 24 hours later, in which Big Wet's son, Lil Wet, was arrested for. However, Wet 'em Up was released 3 years later due to lack of evidence. On April 6, 2017, Shoota Shellz released his by far most famous and most acclaimed song. Of course, I'm talking about the song Death of 150. The song was incredibly scornful and disrespectful. He starts the song with a pretty clear mockery of rapper G Herbo, where he rapped, "I see your rapping ass, don't wanna shoot. To get to you, I had to step in the booth." He also mocked ABK Yogi with the line, "2 shots to the face, then give them 2 more to the head."
This is why it was so common and easy and a lot of shootings and killings, because they let you be known who did it. See, back in my day, you don't know who shot you all the time. You don't always know who did it. You probably know the gang that did it, but you're not gonna know the person.
However, he topped this by ending the song by saying F Lil Herb, F Phazo, F Veto, F Rock, F Simo, F Pistol P, F Kobe, F Capo, and F the whole 150. The reason why this song has received so much attention is not only because of the dissing, but also because just 3 months later, Shoota Shellz was murdered in one of the most brutal ways possible. July 10th, 2017, Shoota Shellz's life would tragically come to an end when he was murdered in broad daylight, a hit that would go down as one of the dirtiest kills in Chicago in a long time.
We can walk on 75th too, where some niggas used to be at. Who the f used to be on 75th?
I don't know.
We ain't even gonna say their name.
Shoota Shellz was about to get into his car in the Auburn Gresham community when 3 men exited a white Nissan Altima and opened fire on that July morning. One of them was Mad Max from NLMB, which has been confirmed in police reports. Max and the 2 other shooters ran up to Shoota Shellz and shot him repeatedly in his body and head. As he fell to the ground, it is rumored they took turns shooting him in the head. Shoota Shellz was approximately shot between 15 and 18 times in the head. It was horrific. Half of his head was entirely shot off.
I'll never forget that, because his picture of him being half of his head gone was, I got the picture and I can never post that, ever. And somebody on the sidewalk took a picture of him when he was laying on the ground, bro. That's how that picture got out. That shit was nasty.
The 3 men then jumped into the car and sped away from the scene. Police recovered 43 shell casings near his body. In the autopsy report performed by Dr. Akers, it was said the amount of gunshot wounds Shellz suffered from were too many to document. The murder is still being investigated by the FBI, who has been commissioned to investigate the year-long back-and-forth violence between Black Mob and No Limit. However, no arrests have been made. The only suspect named in the report was Mad Max, who was killed in 2018, allegedly by Hellrel from Lakeside, who was arrested for the murder but was recently released on bond. It's been speculated that at least one of the two other offenders in the murder of Shoota Shellz were from ABK. Much of this speculation is based on the fact that Shoota Shellz murdered Yogi, and that ABK therefore wanted revenge. The theory is also based on the fact that Black Mob, and Shawty Hit in specific, started terrorizing ABK after the murder. In summary, this is a very sad story about a child who lost both of his parents early on in life. He became a product of his environment, started getting active in the street, destroying other families and lives, expressed himself through the music in which he was very talented, and then tragically, brutally murdered by the top killer from the enemy side. Shoota Shellz stated himself in the song Real Ones that he got 5 bodies with the line, "I'm taking my count alone, I got a whole nick." However, members like Lil Art and FBG Bigga have recently stated that you would need 2 hands to match his count.
What I'm gonna say is, you gotta make choices from a teenager walking amongst killers and gang members in Chicago. You have to be that smart at a young age to figure out what's right and what's wrong. When you live by the gun, you die by the gun. Everybody you hear about on these documentaries is dead. They gone. Rest in peace to Zach TV, Shoota Shellz, Yogi, Simo, all of them. Everybody that lost their life, man. All senseless for nothing. This is Beep TV 1. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with another one.
Beep TV, of course. It's to be expected.
Beep TV 1 Urban Vision Entertainment.
So you gotta hear the street, you gotta smell it, you know? You gotta taste that shit, feel it. Right.